I'm 51 years old. I may not look it. Why did you click on this video? You really want me to spare you the mistakes you're going to make in life? Or are you my age and you want to feel better about yourself? I'm going to tell you about the regrets I have, the mistakes I made, and how you can avoid making them. First, the coffee. Morning. Well, let me start from the beginning. I had a pretty rough childhood with loads of violence and drama at home. Probably a lot of trauma, some processed, some not. Some buried deep in the depths of my soul, and I'm not intending to dig these things up. The way I was raised resulted in a lot of suppressed negative emotions, shame, guilt, fear, pride to cover these things. I was an outsider pretty early on, hated school. But music found me as I was standing in the little theater of my school watching a 12-year-old guy play drums. I knew right away that I could play too, sat behind the drum kit and played my first 4/4 beat. And that changed everything. It made me want to communicate better. It made me want to connect with other kids to play music. It made me want to learn English so I could sing like John Lennon. That translated into my entire life and started my evolution. Had this not happened, this video would probably take place in jail or in prison somewhere. The good news, I was good at something, I had plans to become great at something, and that was going to be my job, music. The bad news, everything else didn't matter to me anymore. It was going to be in music or nothing. Early on in life, I learned how to cheat my way through life in terms of getting sympathy points from my father, who would always punish us for bad grades or bad school certificates. So I started faking them early on in life. I went to the copy shop, and did the sticker thing and better grades, of course, and signed the thing myself, tried to copy the teacher's signature. Worked until the very end of school. That, in combination with loving music, taught me that there's nothing in life I should do that I don't enjoy doing. Which from my perspective sounded like a great plan. From my father's, not so much. From my teachers, not so much either. Dude, I hated school with a passion, and I'm pretty sure the teachers hated me too. I had the worst possible grade in music, and music became my job. So I kept living from one day to the next, starting bands, leaving bands, winning some battle of the band contests, playing loads of little gigs, gaining some local popularity, getting into the clubs for free, not paying for drinks, not paying for drugs. Dating first girls, being in my first relationships, being totally codependent and slightly narcissistic, but also turning towards spirituality a little bit. Studied Buddhism very early on, went to the Buddhist house in Berlin to meditate almost daily for a year or two, 1.5 years maybe, and had a couple of awakenings that unfortunately seemed to pass again, and chased those awakenings ever since, until I realized that we are all already awake, just not really aware of it. Before I turned pro as a musician, I did all kinds of shit jobs to get by, none of which lasted longer than a month. Working at construction sites, nightclubs as a bouncer or a bartender, car rentals, washing cars, pizza deliveries, all that kind of crap. Noticing that I really have a deep-rooted problem with authority, or with wasting my time, my life, and my emotional health for the sake of somebody else's business. So being employed 9 to 5 was out the window very early on. I had a firm belief in things going well. I don't know where that optimism came from, but I'm pretty sure that's why things went the way they did for a long time. I would never make more or less money than what I believed would turn up on my bank statement at the end of the year. Usually it would be enough to go travel and come back home broke before work started again. This belief enabled it to come true, and it coming true enabled me to keep believing in it. I would never worry about money, and I know that was also the reason why I kept making the money I made. Always just enough to live the life I wanted. Never less, but also never more. One day, in a period where I played many shows in bars as a singer-songwriter, I was at the right time, in the right place, and a German artist called Nena was present in the audience, and her bass player was playing a little gig at this bar in Kreuzberg, Berlin, Germany. When they did a break, I went to the toilet and met the piano player who was playing for that guy. And he asked me I wanted to open the second set with a song of mine. I said yes. While washing my hands in the bathroom, I told him the chords and the tempo of the song and the structure and trusted that everything would go well. And go well it did. You know, Nena was present, and a couple of days later I got a phone call, and that was that. And then I traveled to the United States, broke up with my girlfriend at the time, quit my band at the time, and got back, and my telephone rang the day I landed in Berlin. Just right after I got home and went to bed in the morning after a flight with no sleep. "Hey, this is Nena," she said. And I was like, "Nina? Did I mess something up again with somebody?" And she said, no, Nena. And I'm like, oh, Nena, that gig in Kreuzberg. Long story short, she invited me to the rehearsal room to rehearse for the upcoming tour. We played 3 songs and the deal was sealed. I went on tour with Nena in 2002, 25 shows or something. And after that, we never talked about it again. This is 24 years ago. And I kept playing tour after tour after tour. I became the rhythm guitar player for 18 years. Then the pandemic hit. The drummer from the United States couldn't come over. I was asked to fill in for a gig in Denmark, prepared the hell out of it, and did a good job, and stayed on drums ever since. Which I feel is a massive upgrade. It's so much fun playing drums in this band, especially filling shoes of Van Romain, Zach Alford, Sterling Campbell, you know, these drummers that played with the likes of David Bowie, Steve Morse. So I had a job, enough money came in every year, so I would get by and get to travel towards the end of the year until the next gig season. So after 24 years of being a professional musician, I'm doing pretty good. I would say I just got through my first real crisis in life, confronting uncertainty, a little bit of a health scare, and only by fully accepting it got better. This was probably the hardest lesson of my life, but there's no way I could have sped up the process. And it took all the fear, all the pain, all the agony. It was a nightmare. But it took all that, and there was no way I could have understood and healed faster than I did. The same goes for life. There's no way you can avoid what you need to do in order to be where you're right now. What would have happened had I not joined Nena's band? I don't know. No one can know. That question doesn't make any sense because there is no answer. Sure, maybe I would have worked harder on my own career, and maybe I would have become an independent, successful artist myself. But maybe I would not, and I would have had to work shit jobs for the rest of my life. The answer to the question, what would have happened if I hadn't joined Nena's band in 2002, is it doesn't matter. That's not how things work. I joined the band, I had my reasons to do it. Regret is unnecessary, it is unrealistic. I needed to join that band, otherwise I wouldn't have done it. And that's how life works. There is no advice that can keep you from doing what you need to do in this life. You will make decisions according to your maturity, according to your level of consciousness, according to your experience, to your karma. All the things you'll do, you will have needed to do. Advice is nice in case it matches your own opinion. Ask for advice and somebody tells you to do something that you absolutely don't want to do, you'll never do it anyway. So advice is useless. I'm now 51 years old. I have pretty much no money. I have enough to travel. I guess the amount of money I believe in having on my account at the end of the year has maybe doubled now. So instead of 5,000 euro, my travel budget is now around 10,000 euro. And that is for the entire winter. That has changed. It has doubled due to experiences I had, adjustments that I made, needs that I wanted to fulfill, limiting beliefs I became aware of. But it all comes down to, what do I truly believe in? Because everything I ever believed in always came true. And everything I didn't believe in never came true. So why did you click on this video? Do you really want a 51-year-old loser to tell you what to do with your life? And I'm not considering myself a loser. I have lived my life according to my level of consciousness, my level of wisdom, according to my upbringing, according to my gut feeling, my intelligence, both of my mind and my heart. It wouldn't have been possible any other way, because it's always now anyway. So if I have any advice for you, then it's the following. Don't get baited into clicking on some video by an old loser trying to get clicks by telling you how to live life. by telling you how to live your life. Because no one can tell you how to live your life. There is no general formula for life. You are going to do what you got to do. You are going to have to make the mistakes that you're going to make. It's important to fail and to get back up, or maybe not. It's entirely up to you, to your energy levels, to your trust, to your self-love. Life is the perfect school. It will teach you at its own pace. It will take you where you need to be. You know all you need to know, and everything you don't, you will learn. Not by some old loser YouTuber, but by yourself, through your own experiences. That's the beauty of life. Would I want to go back? I don't know. Can I? No. Right now is definitely the best time of my life. And it's the only time, let's be real. There is no tomorrow. It'll never be here. It's just imagination. Same goes for the past. It's over. It's just imagination. You ever notice that memories and imagining the future is made out of the same stuff? It's right now. Don't worry about the future. Live your life, make your mistakes, learn, grow, suffer, heal, love, lose, fight, win, and most of all, be here now. Let's redefine the standards. There's no would, no should have, no would have. No could have. You determine how things are. Nobody out there can determine what you should be, but you determine how things are. Instead of, you should be tough, you should work hard, make X amount of money, and have a great job, great reputation and all that. I'm a pro musician who's just been through his midlife crisis, who's making enough money to get by, who still has some dreams that might be unfulfilled, who has traveled the entire world, who's living a pretty good life, and is pretty content with himself, because that is the truth. And the truth defines what is. Not a would have, not a should have, not a could have. Don't beat yourself up for all the things you aren't, or all the things you haven't achieved, or all the things you think you need to live up to and haven't yet. Learn to love yourself. Learn to love what is. You can't control the world out there, but you can control what's going on within you. That's the ultimate power. And all those people who try to control others are really just scared, because why else would you want to control somebody else? Change your perspective. You can't change a million people around you. And just adjust your perspective. If you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.